Remember, they're changing my voice. These people like to think like the Riddler or something. For whatever reason, you see it in popular culture, and police are no exception to the rule. That people like to take on the persona to some degree of popular culture ideas, which have its root in the kind of Greco-Roman occult. This is something they were doing a long time before the Riddler was made a character, because the mysteries of the Sphinx and what have you were mysteries that were part of the cult process of the ancient world, especially in Greece and in certain locations around Egypt and Egypt itself. Okay, so the riddles of the Sphinx, right? The riddler, right? The Sphinx, the symbol of wisdom. So these guys, of course, where we get the root word for wisdom, right? Witto, wizzo, meaning sage. Okay, we also get, wiz, right? Wizard. Okay, wizzo. Okay, witan. Okay, these words basically mean wise and sage and so on and so forth. You get math wizard, right? A little kid's a math wizard, for example, math whiz. These things are part of the Masonic wordplay, if you will, and the part of the riddle. And it goes on and on and on. It's a fool who spends their whole life trying to master the riddle, right? You need to kind of get the general idea, and then you see what's going on here. You don't need to learn every detail of the mystery system, okay? And if you do, you see that there's nothing there that contradicts what I'm saying. Their plan is obvious, right? They want to pretend they're important, kind of manifest destiny, some guy in some kind of trance-like state acting like he's important. And you see police, they're in some kind of, adrenaline junkie trance-like state. You see gang members. Again, it's important to note that I'm not a gang member, and I'm not on the side of gang members. When I was younger, I hung out with gang members because every culture sucks. And the most appealing culture was gangs, and it was the closest thing to being a warrior. And so it kind of allowed me to express myself more when talking to women, and allowed me to try to get people to do the right thing, and community revolution in progress, right? CRIP. And of course, with the word scripture, it's Crips root scrambled, and rapture is rape root, right? So they want to rape people, and they want the hero to seem like a Crip, so they can say he's a rapist. And it's right there in the Bible where they say they call evil good and good evil. So as you listen to this video, you should quickly understand that I'm right. What they're doing is unacceptable, and I'm right to be mad. I quite often say, if you have a viable counterargument, and law enforcement themselves have members watching my videos, if you have a viable counterargument, present in the comments. Don't just provoke me and then fucking turn around and say he's mentally ill and he needs to go to the psych ward or somewhere. He needs to lock him up. That's sick. If you think you have an argument as to why I shouldn't be angry, present it now, or know you're dead fucking wrong to try to come after me later and say, hey, he has a long history of erratic behavior or some bitch shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a logical person. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8. Okay, 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. I'm thinking straight, and I go by the logic, okay? Because they've been fueling me, my emotions are, have been reduced. My ability to feel angry has been reduced, and I think in terms of logic. And even when I was angry, my logic was actually better, but my logic is still far greater than other people's. It's kind of like when you're sparring, right? When you're fighting, when you get angry, sometimes your brain functions better and allows you to fight more effectively. And so it is with talking about something you're angry about, if you do it in a certain way and you have a certain martial art brain wiring. Thank you. So remember, they're changing my voice. As I see this channel called Cat Seat Channel, I see law enforcement referring to the suspects from a predominantly black gang as animals. I don't think I've ever, seen it in this context. Maybe individual serial killers referred to as what kind of animal would do that or what have you. But the racial overtones, are obvious. Law enforcement standing there acting bad with their guns out, someone with their guns out, and the guy in front, he's acting like a gang member or something in the video. Now, here, these things are brought to my attention. Okay, the government is trying to pit me against law enforcement, but law enforcement is guilty of complicity with the law of the devil. Okay, in the Bible, in a predominantly Judeo-Christian culture, especially if you're a white Christian conservative cop, I challenge you to prove me wrong on this scripture. Does it not say that Satan is the god of this world? And in Isaiah, did it not say that God puts a bit in the mouth of the peoples to lead them astray? We see in 1 John 2:15, do not love the world or anything in the world. Whoever loves the world, love for the Father is not in him. But yet you have love for the law of the land to the point where you'll risk your life to enforce it. And you call the types of people that are some of the biggest victims in the world. Now, granted, just because you're a victim of white supremacy doesn't mean you should kill somebody or commit these acts. But for you to pretend as an official of the state, granted the state is corrupt, but that doesn't make what you're doing okay. For you to pretend that you are more civilized than them is sickening. That is sickening. That is like the devil saying he's more civilized than somebody he's torturing in his system. It's very much that. It's so much that law enforcement is called devils commonly, and they have no viable counterargument. When's the last time any of you seen law enforcement go on TV and explain exactly why it's unfair to call them a devil? I've never seen that in my life. They say stupid shit like they just go out and do their job. You know, just like the concentration camp guards in Nazi Germany. You know, just like the Gestapo say, well, that's different. How's it different? There's like 2 million plus people incarcerated in America. I seen the other day someone claimed that there was 170,000 prisoners in California. There's something like that. Okay? Your system, it governs very poorly. Very poorly. We don't see this poor governance emerge around the world until the West colonizes it. You are the worst governors in human history as Westerners. The worst governors. North Korea has a hand-me-down Western system. Okay? They're following your playbook. Okay? You have governed so poorly that all police are corrupt by default, right? That's also what it says in the Bible, that when a ruler listens to lies, all his officials become corrupt. When a ruler accepts being a deceiver, the devil, the great deceiver, all the officials are corrupt. You're all corrupt cops who present a false standard in regards to what a hero is, in regards to what a decent citizen is. And you reinforce that lie. And it comes with all sorts of consequences. All these crimes are partially law enforcement's fault. When's the last time law enforcement got together to tell the truth about everything so they wouldn't have to shoot down some victim, who decided to turn to crime because they've been led astray by people like you? But you didn't hesitate all throughout American history to get rid of black leaders, collaborating with the Ku Klux Klan, LAPD, not just in the South, but here in California and in New York and Chicago. Long history of police corruption, screening out the decent black leaders so they would have to listen to the bootlicking puppets that you people enforce as the puppets of the black community. Did you come together now that I'm here as Christ? Did you come together to secure my rightful place? No, because you're just happy to be another dog shooting down people who are unfortunately led astray in the ghetto. It doesn't take very much to push someone over the edge. A psychologist could tell you that in no time flat. You organized, even call the projects because they're psychological operations and projects, what they're projecting. You people who play stupid, you're the type of bitch, that's not my problem. I don't want to hear it because I'm a white supremacist cop, right? It's fucking pathetic. You're the anti-man. Once you're the anti-Christ and God is the Father, and it says in Kings, be a man and obey God, then you're an anti-man. Leading people astray. Bad direction. Tons of complaints leveled at you all the time. All the times cops getting caught doing grimy things, but magically, as you've organized your thoughts more than the people you're complaining about because of your system. That's how it works. You throw black people off, you drop drugs and alcohol in the ghetto, and you say dumb shit like, we hear that all the time. How can the devil, why he's a fucking devil, say, oh yeah, people say all the time, yeah, and you're the fucking devil, and they're right, you stupid fuck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, motherfuckers are stupid. That's why they say cops are dumb. They're dumb. They decided to work for one of the most corrupt governments in human fucking history, and to pretend that the people that they victimize as culturally with their complicity, politically, socially, economically, sexually, in various ways, in organized and methodical and calculated ways, they're pretending that they're the animals. Okay? when it's the animals who have done this to them and taken away their black leaders, controlled their reproductive cycles? Who determines who lives where? Who determines who works where? What groupings of people determine who lives where, works where, what cultures are allowed? They even have council culture. It's a left-right paradigm. They're working together. The right wing affects things a certain way, and the left wings affect things a certain way, and they have bipartisan committees that affect things a certain way. And when the smoke clears, black people are listening to the criminal scum that you put up there and not to me. And you're helping the state harass me. No, I assure you, you people are if they're animals, you're some kind of vampire fucking animal. And it's not a coincidence that of all the black people in the world, you chose the Igbo tribe, okay, as one of the main types of people you brought here. Manifest destiny, the ship's manifest. And Igbo is Obi, black belt, Obi spelled backwards, and Kuro Obi means black belt. Belt is sign of rank. And Obi means king, heart, hut, temple, essence, center, core in the Igbo tribal language. It means Christ when used in that context as well. The Kuro Christ, the King of Kings, the top martial arts ever, the heavenly warrior that defeats the beast. But you people worship the fucking devil in a calculated manner. How many cops are Freemasons? With their Luciferian doctrine. And to this day, they crack down on people for pointing out the obvious when it's right there in morals and dogma that you embrace the Luciferian doctrine. But we don't need to see that there because we can see it in their arrogant, white, racist, and whitewashed culture of Freemasonry. Arrogant sons of SOBs. Arrogant as it gets. Proud fools. Little children that never grew up wearing aprons, acting like they're important. I'm not just a police commissioner, but I'm a 32nd degree Freemason. I'm very proud, very proud. So they cut me off because they never grew up. Anyway, they're very arrogant scum that say things like, I'm not just a police commissioner, but I'm a 32 degree Freemason. Very proud, very proud. Arrogant slime. And your own Bible says arrogance is a sin. That kind of foolishness, that kind of law of the land, secret society of the land trash is utterly despised by God and are an extreme disgrace to themselves, their families, their races, you name it. Just a fucking disgrace. For white supremacists, it is a disgrace to the white race. How much more a piece of shit Freemason that pretends that they're a good guy and pretends that they're not a white supremacist? How much more is that a fucking disgrace? You two-faced scum.